Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about the theory of constructed emotion and actively influenced account of the interoception and categorization. In ancient times, philosophers and doctors viewed the human mind as a collection of different mental abilities. They categorized the mind without understanding biological of the brain. These mental categories include thinking, feelings, and volitions, which we now call cognitions, emotions, and perceptions. Modern affective neuroscientists who study emotions challenge the classical view of emotions that are innate and distinct. They study by focusing on specific emotions that are easily recognizable in English, like anger, sadness, fear, and disgust. They try to find out how does the brain construct emotions and what are the biological foundations of emotions. So what is the theory of constructed emotions? First of all, let's talk about what is a brain and what is it for. The brain is a network made up of billions of neurons that communicate with each other. These neurons are surrounded by chemicals called neurotransmitters, which help to pass the information to one another to help create different types of the mental experiences. The main functions of brain is to manage the body's internal resources efficiently to keep us alive, healthy, and able to reproduce. This process called allostasis. Allostasis means that the brain predicts and meets the body's needs before they even arise, making sure everything is stayed in balance. If this balance is thrown off too long, it can lead to health problems, which can change the way the brain works and how we behave. The areas of the brain like the amygdala, insula, and prefrontal cortex, they manage internal balance and also play a key role in emotions. How allostasis and the interoceptions contributed to emotional experience. This is because the brain uses an internal model, which is like having a detailed map of both the body and its environment. This approach is called embodied simulation, where the brain anticipates and meets the body's physical requirements effectively. A critical part of this internal model is the interoception. It combines information from both inside the body and from the environment. This is important for basic emotion feelings and overall consciousness. Rather than just reacting to what is happening around it, the brain actively influences how it interprets and processes sensory information. The brain uses interoceptive signals to construct emotions by integrating them with external sensory information and past experiences. For example, a feeling of tightness in the chest might contribute to the construct of an emotion like anxiety or sadness. This activity of the brain challenges the classical views of our sense, thoughts, and emotions. But how the brain implements its internal models. The brain uses concepts and the pattern generators to understand and react to the world. Predictions are concepts. These concepts help the brain to categorize the incoming sensory information, giving them meaning and guide actions to keep the physiological regulation. These concepts are constructed from Bayesian predictions. The brain simulations functions as Bayesian filters for incoming sensory inputs, driving actions and constructing perceptions. This is also called predictive coding. If the new information doesn't match the prediction, known as the prediction error, the brain updates its concept to improve future predictions to maintain physiological efficiency. To sum up, the brain uses an internal model built from past experiences to predict what will happen next in the world, categorize the input sensory and flight emotion concepts, giving the emotion concepts meaning, guide actions, and keep the body balanced, which we mentioned before. It is the process called allostasis. If the prediction of incoming sensations is correct, then we perceive that emotion. In order to explain this theory and how it challenged the classical views of emotions, this study employs a comprehensive review of existing literature and data from neuroscience to build and support. For example, Figure 1 shows the hubs in the brain that involved in integrating information across different regions to create large-scale patterns of information flow. Figure 2 shows the result of a study where a participant's neural activity during simulation. It shows an increased both response within several brain areas. These two neural images demonstrates that the brain's complex network structure and how it supports the idea that the emotions are constructed rather than innate and mental categories. Figure 3 shows the brain is a concept generator and how it generates concepts by integrating sensory information across different areas. Figure 4 shows the depictions of predictive coding in the human brain. These predictive signals are sent from areas to regulate both internal and external sensory inputs to create emotional experiences. These two figures shows how the theoretical framework of predictive coding generates emotions. The author also introduced simulation study. For example, patient SM, who diagnosed with a botched wither disease with damage to her amygdala. The amygdala has traditionally been associated with the processing of fear and other emotions. Patient SM they exhibit a profound impairment in recognizing the fear. However, she can perceive fear in voices, body languages, and eyes. This case study demonstrates the concept of degeneracy in emotion, means emotions are created by different patterns in various neuron groups, meaning they do not have a single set of defining features. This makes the brain robust and adaptable and challenge the classical view of the emotion that are innate and distinct. This paper highlights how scientific revolutions like the paradigm shift from classical view to constructionist views of emotions. It often raises more questions than they answer, which fostering scientific discovery. The author redefined the emotions, proposed that emotions are actively constructed by the brain using interoception, predictive coding, and categorizations. In conclusion, this paper explains the theory of construct emotions influence how we think about and approach emotional experiences in various aspects of life. The future studies may explore the therapeutic approaches that help individuals reconstruct their emotional experiences through cognitive and behavioral intervention based on this theory. This opens up new possibilities for understanding and improving emotional well-being in diverse contexts. At the end, I want to summarize this paper in one sentence. Emotions are constructions of the world, not reactions to it. Thank you so much. Here is the reference. Feel free to read if you want further information.